I'm going to go out on a limb and say this video probably isn't for you.
Stick around and we'll get right to it.
Hey, welcome back guys, Jason KM4ACK. I want to share with you today a project that I've been working on. Now, before we dive into this, let me say that I understand 99.9% of you probably will not be interested in this project. But this was something that I wanted to work on for myself. It's something that's pretty cool, but the way I coded it was with Claude AI, and that was a learning experience all on its own. And really, that was the focus of this entire project, was actually for me to learn more about coding with AI than it was about the project itself. Now, one more thing I want to make clear right up front. This is a fork of a project by KC1VMZ. He had the initial idea for this. I just took that and imported it into Claude and then told Claude that I wanted to simplify it. His version was just a little bit overly complicated for what I wanted to do, so it was a good starting point for my project and allowed me a huge jump start. But definitely give a shout out to him for his original idea. The project is called Net Central, and it's basically just a way to run a net strictly over APRS. Now, I designed my fork to be offline first. The only thing that you'll see in here that will require the internet is if you want to include the radar on the map, and you will also need the internet to download the maps initially. Once you've got those downloaded, you do not need the internet at all to run this. Right up here at the top, you're going to see a little bit of information about the net. Now, I'm calling this ARES for Rutherford County ARES. And this would be a weekly net that we would run. It does also give you a voice frequency, and it gives you an operator's call sign. Today, I'm running our club call sign of K4FUN. And then it gives you a couple of other options here to download some rosters if you need those for some reason during the middle of the net. Of course, we got the close net button right here and shut down the application, which is called Net Central. Now, this is browser-based, so everything that you do with it is pretty much through the browser itself. And I've tried to make this as easy as possible and gave some sensible starting points if you're just first getting into this. Now, let's scroll down just a little bit and let's take a look at the map. Right now, you can see that I do have the radar information on the map, and we can go ahead and make that map full screen. Now, this isn't completely finished. I do have some little polishing tweaks that I want to do to it. For instance, when I click that full screen button, you can see right up here that it's really just an outline of a square, not a clear indicator. So that's just one of the little things that I want to go back and work on. If we zoom in again, guys, this is completely offline maps. I think this map is about 350 megabytes, if I remember right, for the state of Tennessee. And it gives you street level detail if that's something that you need. Now, you don't have to download street level detail. There are 2 or 3 different levels of maps that you can do, or you can do a custom zoom level if you prefer. So there's just a quick look at maps. Now, one other thing you can do, if you see somebody on the screen, if you click on their icon, it's going to give you their status message from APRS right here, and you can click this button and go ahead and message them if you would like as well. Now let's go ahead and close the full screen map so that it's just a partial screen. See right here where I was talking about, you only get an outline of that full screen box, so that's something that I've got to go back in and fix. This thing isn't perfect yet, but it was good enough for me to learn a lot about coding with Claude. Oh, one more thing I want to show you guys before we leave the map view is anywhere on the map, if you simply right-click on it, you will get a pop-up dialog box here that will allow you to create an object. Now, I kind of stole the playbook out of Yak for the visibility down here, but let's go ahead and create a object. We'll just call this one test, and we'll put test object right there in the comment. You can then choose whichever icon you want from this list. And it's got a pretty extensive list of different icons that you can use. Now, we can choose to go private, which will only display on my map, You can go local, which is RF only, or you can go global, which is RF, plus it will stick it into APRS IS. Now, if you're running just over RF, then you will need to also hit an iGate in order for it to be injected into the APRS IS system. But once you get this done, you just click the Create button here, and in just a second, that test object will show up right there on the map. And you can see that test object right there that has shown up. Now, if you click on it again, you do have the option to edit it or to delete it. So whatever you need to do there. There's also a way that you can import objects if you already had a list, or if you want to take the objects that you created, you can export those so you can import those at a later date and time. Now, down here at the very bottom is kind of where you will see the information of who has checked into your net. And I'll show you guys in just a second a little bit about this from the APRS Droid perspective. So if you were a participant in the net, I'll kind of show you a little bit about that as well. Down here, though, you also have the ability to create bulletins. And you can create up to 10 different bulletins that will go out on a timed basis. And if we come right down here, you've got the ability to send out a group message. Now, by default, those are sent up to 6 times, and they go out 60 seconds apart. These are not tracked with an acknowledgement because group messages do not get acknowledged. Now, in addition to that, we can monitor for incoming bulletins and group messages. So you just put a check mark right here if you want to monitor for incoming group incoming bulletins. And then if you want to monitor for incoming group messages, you have to put the groups that you want to monitor for in your settings. Over here in the participants box, you can add a participant manually, or you can send a free text if someone is not already checked in. Once they're checked in, they will show up down here in this box right here. And you will get two options here, one to message them and one to check them out, or check them out manually. Now, you'll also notice now, this guy, WA4SKY, or SKI rather, has not been seen in 2 hours and 31 minutes. Once this time goes to 10 minutes, this box will turn yellow. Once it goes to more than 20 minutes, this box will turn red like you see it here, and you would get a pop-up indicator right here in the middle. So it's one less thing that you've really got to focus on is when's the last time you heard a station, because you're going to get an alert if that station has not been heard in the last 20 minutes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and send a message to net control from my APRS Droid that's connected over RF or connected over Bluetooth to my radio that's going to send this message out over RF. So let's go ahead and just send test for video. And in just a couple of seconds, what we should see is a new message indicator there on the screen. And you can see right there that indicator just popped up. Now, let's go ahead and click on that, and you're going to get a dialog box. If we send a reply, so I'm just type reply and enter, you'll see a little dot right there. Now, this is another one of those little bugs that I do need to fix before I publish this, but that will go green right there if you could notice the difference in that, and it's not enough of a difference. That's why I need to fix it. But you do get a little green indicator right there telling you that this message was acknowledged so that you know that it was definitely delivered. Now, I'm going to go ahead and manually check myself out right here, and we'll just put checkout for video. And that's just a message that you can put. This will be put in the log that this application generates at the end. So if you just click right, or whatever you put right here will end up being in the log. But I'm just going to put checkout for video, and that has manually checked me out. Now, I will also get a notice sent via APRS message that says net control checked out, my call sign, reply CI if still here. And you can see the message that was just sent to my APRS Droid instance right there. So I'm just going to reply CI to let net control know that I am here. Now, that's one of the things that I tried to do in this application is keep the messages as brief as possible. So if you're trying to type this from an HT, it's as easy as possible. So there's the CI that I just sent. We'll get an acknowledgement here in just a second, and we get a welcome message. Now that welcome message is editable by NetControl, and you can see that my status on the dashboard itself just went to checked in, and then the system's going to auto reply and ask me to set my status to either green, yellow, or red. Now, for this demonstration, I'm going to set my status to yellow. So I send S space Y, and we'll go ahead and send that because I want you to see what happens from NetControl's standpoint. So we get a reply that the status was set to yellow, and then NetControl gets a pop-up dialog box that tells him that I set my status to yellow. Now, if we click OK right there on the screen, you'll also notice that the row that is mine for the check-in is also yellow. Now, we'll go ahead and send S space red so that we can set that status to red. And I want you to notice on the dashboard how that changes from yellow to red. And you can see right there that the row is now that reddish color, letting you know that that station has a problem. So we'll go ahead and reset that to green so that the color will be cleared out of that completely. And once it registers as green, you'll notice now that all of the color is gone out of that line. And the reason we do that is just so it draws attention if the status changes to red or yellow. Now let's take a peek at what happens when you close the net. So I'm just going to click Close Net and download the report. I will get this box here that asks me to confirm to clear. Now that clears the current database, but that database is also stored so you can come back and look at it at a later date and time. Now I'm going to click download the HTML report right here. I'll get the pop-up right up here, and then I'm also going to download the 214. So we'll go ahead and click download it, and I want you guys to see this. This will automatically fill out the activity log on a fillable PDF 214 form. So if you needed to keep an official record of this, this will go ahead and fill this out for you. Now you will still have to fill out the top information and the bottom information. Where is it? Oh, I guess it's just right down here at the bottom of this page. So you would have to fill that out manually, but all of the main body of this form is filled out for you automatically. So you can see here right where I set my status to yellow, back to red, and then, or from yellow to red and then back to green. So that's just one of the reports that you're able to do. And then this is the HTML version of that same report. Now you can save this out as a PDF, or you could simply print this page. So there's a relatively brief overview of NetCentral rewritten in Python. And as long as you understand the subject matter for what you're trying to create an app for, I would highly encourage you to start playing around with AI. If you found today's information helpful, be sure to leave us a thumbs up before you head off. We will see you guys on the next one. Until then, 7-3.